Welcome to the Green Wisdom Health Podcast with Dr. Stephen and Janet Lewis, where you will learn about natural solutions to common ailments. And now, here are your hosts, Dr. Stephen and Janet Lewis.
Hello, and welcome to the Green Wisdom Health Podcast. I'm Janet Lewis.
And I'm Dr. Lewis. Today we'd like to do a podcast and try to thrill you and educate you and encourage you. And the name of this is Why Am I So Tired All the Time? Because one of the words that I hear over and over again is I'm fatigued, I'm tired, I can't sleep. Sound like a good song. So we're gonna discuss this, and
you know, it's amazing how many people tell us they're exhausted even after what seems to be a full night's sleep.
Yeah, and many people assume that fatigue is simply a part of getting older, and I don't believe that, but it's not always the case. I don't think it's old at all.
So what factors exactly determine, why you would be tired sometimes?
Well, there's so many different factors, and that's why we promote lab work. We're going to discuss some of the most common causes, which is going to include thyroid function, hormone imbalances, nutrient deficiencies, blood sugar issues, that's way too common, stress, and there's different types of stress, and poor sleep. So we're going to discuss practical steps that people can take to better understand what's contributing to their low energy, and then that allows them to have the power to do something about it.
So, Dr. Lewis, is it normal to feel tired every day?
Only if you live with me.
I'm never tired.
Janet,
I'm like an Energizer bunny.
Yeah, Janet says she can't keep up with me, but I think she's just trying to help. Occasional fatigue, I think, is normal, depending on what happens and what kind of stresses that you're dealt with, or maybe even temporary hormonal imbalances. But generally, no. If you've had a stressful week, poor sleep, temporary illness, or increased physical activity, your body may need to just simply rest and recover for a little while. But fatigue that continues for weeks and months deserves attention.
Well, what are some of the signs that fatigue may indicate something deeper?
I love giving out lists, and I tell people don't diagnose yourself off of a list. But waking up tired despite sleeping, if you wake up and you think you need a nap, there's something wrong. Needing caffeine throughout the day, you can't get enough caffeine to get up and going. Brain fog, which can be from many different potential issues. Poor concentration, when you crash in the afternoon, low motivation, like, well, I used to get up and do all this stuff, and now I don't even want to get up off the couch. That's a sign you need to pay attention to. If you have difficulty exercising or just feel exhausted from normal activities, and this is a symptom, not a diagnosis, the question becomes, what's causing it?
Well, one of the first things people hear about are thyroid problems, which everyone thinks they have one. But tell us why the thyroid is so important.
Well, about 2 out of 3 or 3 out of 4 people that we do lab on really do have a hypothyroid. But does that mean that's what is representative of the population, or does that just mean that's what the universe sends us, people that need a boost in the thyroid? So the thyroid helps regulate your metabolism, energy production throughout the body. And when your thyroid is less than optimal, people often experience, here comes the list again, folks. They experience fatigue, weight gain, brain fog, feeling cold, dry skin, thinning hair, and slower recovery.
I think we may need to do a whole show on just this, on the thyroid.
I could do that because it's really incredibly important, and it's intricately connected to the liver and the detoxification of the liver.
So can thyroid issues be overlooked?
Most of the time. Many people are surprised to learn how common the thyroid-related symptoms can be. We need to, again, I recommend the lab, thyroid panel, and that's very, 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 very thorough. And one of our most popular evaluations.
Why do you recommend that thyroid panel? Is that because most of the time those panels aren't run normally?
Most of them are not. Usually your doctor will do TSH, and unfortunately doctors have a tough job of having to try to keep the insurance companies happy, which do not have your health at number one priority. But yeah, we do, like just on our regular lab, about 7 different markers for the thyroid, and we can get more thorough than that if you do the thyroid panel. But you have to get a complete picture of thyroid function, and that gives many times more valuable insight on fatigue, brain fog, weight gain, cold intolerance, things like that.
Do you also have just like nutritional support options for thyroid wellness without doing lab? Is that something that's okay to take? A product that would help with that?
We do. I don't suggest that, but we have something called Thyroid Essentials, and it has many, many things in it. But
we have many, many people on it, though.
Yeah, and for the most part, people like it. And if it doesn't work, then there's another factor, another piece of the equation that we can figure out. But it has things in it like iodine and selenium, which is very overlooked. Tyrosine's an amino acid, and it helps convert T4 to T3. Well, people say, but I'm taking tyrosine. It's like, well, that doesn't mean that you're digesting it and assimilating it. You have to examine gut function and gut healing. Remember when leaky gut was the soup of the day, so to speak?
I do. So you shouldn't view the supplementation as a whole wellness strategy. There's other pieces to it, right?
Well, I had this sweet young lady ask me about her husband's fatigue and what could he take. Well, I recommended our multivitamin because it covers a lot of sins in your stress level and in your diet. And I said, but if this does not work and start giving him energy, we need to do some labs. So I appreciate all the people that stick with it, all the people that refer their friends and family, because we get a lot of that. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm, that's true. So can vitamin and mineral deficiencies really make someone tired?
Yeah. I ask all kinds of good questions like, well, does running out of gas make your car quit? I say stupid things so people can think about it differently. But, your body relies on a lot of different nutrients that helps convert food into usable energy, support your cell function, and maintain overall health. When the key nutrients are lacking, fatigue can become a major issue. And it takes quite a while to get that going again, get the storeroom filled so your body has enough to work with and produce more energy.
So which nutrients are most commonly associated with someone having low energy? Do you have a list for us of things that can be associated with low energy?
Well, I'd start with B12.
Just any B12?
No, there's so much bad B12. It's cyanocobalamin is the bad one. And cyanocobalamin's made from Escherichia coli, which is the bad bacteria in your colon, and from Pseudomonas. If you know what Pseudomonas is, it's like, why in the heck are you?
We don't know that. That's why we come to you.
Get a good B12, and we can do that. And with B12, ours has a B6 in it, but it's the activated B6, which is the one that not only helps convert energy, but it helps the neurotransmitters cross from the GI tract into the brain, so B6. And then we have something called MTHFR, quatropolic, which is folate, which really, if you've got this genetic SNP, SNP, you're not going to convert anyway. So our vitamins assume you have it so that it's going to work no matter who has what genetic predisposition. And it does work. Janet, make sure I get it.
And if you're wondering where these products are he's talking about, they're on our Green Wisdom Health website. So, all right.
Yeah.
We got vitamin B covered. What else you got?
Yeah, vitamin D. But now our D that's on our website is designed to give you plenty, but not overdose you, because that's possible too. But
Is that the D5000?
yeah, the D5000, but it's got I think it has the D without K is like me without Janet. It's better together.
Wow. But some people prefer just straight vitamin D, right? They don't understand vitamin K, which I'll let you explain in a little bit, but in general, just vitamin D.
Yeah, in general. And people say, well, I'm out in the sun all day long. It's like, yes, but you're so full of toxins that you can't really convert sunlight to vitamin D like we could 50 or 75 or 100 years ago. And I was talking about microplastics and environmental toxins 20, 30 years before it became, cool to do so.
What other nutrients are associated with low energy?
It's really funny that we see so many people with high iron or low iron. Both of them can be very detrimental to your health. Low iron leaves you prone to developing all kinds of problems, and high iron is really tough on your brain, your liver, and your heart. Usually if you have high iron, you could have a condition called hemochromatosis, or maybe you just have high inflammatory markers, which we check those too. And
can you see that iron on a regular panel like your doctor has on a CBC?
They check your hemoglobin and hematocrit. By the time that gets out of whack, you're way, way, way deep into the problem. So no, we check universal iron binding capacity, and we do ferritin, etc. Ferritin's the one, it's the storehouse. It's what's in the warehouse in order to be able to be used.
It's amazing how many people never have that run. They're always like, why am I running this? I have my hemoglobin hematocrit. And then we run the iron or we run the ferritin, and it's like, oh, wow, they were missing a whole lot. So, all right, so we have B12, vitamin D, and iron. What's another one that causes low energy?
Well, one of the things that's missing is magnesium, and there's several different studies. Y'all know I read a lot of research, and Janet thinks I have a really good memory. But some of the research says that the best we can do is 40% of what we need per day out of our diet, because it just doesn't exist in the foods that we eat. Other research says that only 30% might get enough to have minimal function. So that leaves 60, 70, 80% missing no matter how you look at it. So it's used in every organ in the body.
There are 300 different functions, isn't that right?
That's what's standard, is 300 different functions, although I've read research that says 600. So again, you can read all kinds of different research, and you kind of have to get a blend of what seems to be the average, is what I generally do. But it's the key mineral that's missing, and there's others that are missing, but it can be implicated in so many different health challenges, because they use cheap, poorly absorbed rock salt minerals, and you don't want to get those. Ours is chelated, and it's chelated in the best formula in the world. So it is.
Are you talking about Mag Ultra?
Yeah, Mag Ultra is up to 20 times more absorbable. You got the various different kinds, like malate, which is a little better for muscles, and you got the lysate, glycate, you got a little bit of citrate. And what most people don't realize is it gets absorbed in different parts in your small intestine, and even somewhat in the colon. You only get, maybe 12, 15% per area. So you have to be careful to have different forms that can get absorbed in different areas of your small intestine and colon. Very important. It's good for your heart too, blood pressure, et cetera, et cetera.
So, can people be deficient even though they're eating fairly well?
Yeah. People say, I eat good. It's like, yeah. And my smart aleck answer is no, nobody eats good because we can. Our good food does not exist. Now, you can eat better. You don't want to eat processed foods, the standard American diet. But, you've got different things: age, digestion, medication, stress, dietary habits, lifestyles can influence your nutrient status. And if you're taking any medications, and of course I don't weigh in on those. If you need to take them, that's great. But every one of them depletes different nutrients to a large degree.
Is that one of the reasons you recommend? I know you said vitamin D, but I know you're very fond of what we call D3 5000 with the Super K2.
Yeah.
Are those lifestyle recommendations or lifestyle factors contribute to why you would give someone the K that goes with that D?
Yeah, the story I like to tell is that's like D and K work together. That's like the bellhop gets you and your luggage out of your car, takes it into the hotel lobby. But if you don't have K to take the luggage and you to the room, you just get a lobby full. And what that means is, well, the D will mobilize calcium. And if you don't have K, then the calcium goes to places it should not go. Where K, if you have enough K, it will put it back into the bone where it belongs.
So you mean you're sleeping in the hotel lobby and not making it to the right room if you don't put the K with it, basically, right?
Yeah.
Or you're going in somebody else's room.
Yeah, I've done that before. Golly, that was surprising for both people.
So one thing, I know you mentioned when people don't want to do lab or, they just want one thing to maybe make a difference in their life is your product recommendation of Active Mega Multi. When people choose a quality multivitamin, how do they know they're getting a quality multivitamin, and why do you think Active Mega Multi is different?
Well, most people just trust me because they have a long history with me. And I always tell them when we're doing these consults to listen to your discerning spirit. Do not let a thought of fear and doubt interfere with what you've told me, what your lab shows us, and what we decide together is best for you. Once you get on the train, you don't want to get off. And is it the best? There's a lot of good products out there, but by the same token, there's a lot of very, very inferior products. And if that's the one I give my wife, my daughter, my granddaughter, I have that much faith in it. And that's the one I take myself because it's very highly absorbable.
Well, I can tell people will buy that one and then they try to go without it, and they can tell they're missing that, because a lot of people, that's all they want to take is just a multivitamin. And that's fine, but make sure you're doing one that makes a difference and not one that don't dissolve at all, which we used to see in x-rays.
Yeah, I used to see them undissolved vitamins and minerals in x-rays, and I'd say, hey, look at this. What is that? And they'll say, I don't know. I'll say, is that a tumor? And they get all scared. And I said, no, it's not a tumor. It's those great vitamins you're spending too much on that's in your colon about to be excreted out, undissolved. And most people don't know most of the supplements are made from petroleum products. So you're not made to digest and assimilate that.
So let's talk a little bit about hormones and energy, because there's a lot of that going on right now with hormone issues. How can hormones affect your energy?
Men, you got to be real careful if you broach this subject with your sweet wife.
Especially if they don't have any anymore.
Yeah, I've had my head chopped off, just being very polite, saying, oh, yeah, we can deal with that. And, I try not to get too technical, but, if you know the difference between 2-hydroxy, 4-hydroxy, 16-hydroxy, we know what to do. And that's why I tell people, well, just find somebody you trust and somebody you can talk to. Go to the man you can talk to. If you're buying vitamins from somebody you can't talk to, you may be not doing the right thing. So hormones are just messengers. And when they fluctuate, many times energy fluctuates as well.
So what symptoms do women commonly experience? I would love to hear what they commonly experience, and I'll agree or disagree. I'll be your panel over here.
Yeah, that scares me. Women, usually it's fatigue, weight gain, mood changes. Men, do not mention mood changes. She'll snap your head off. sleep disturbances, whether that's too hot or just being fidgety, brain fog, hot flashes, and especially during perimenopause and menopause, but it can happen at any stage of life. So we have a women's hormone weight loss lab panel. It's really, really, really thorough, and it gives us a good idea of what's going on and what to give you to support your body's ability to heal itself.
It does more than just weight loss panels, though, right?
Yeah.
And you forgot to mention the Texas heat down here. If a woman's going through all this, they don't want anything to do with this Texas heat, I promise you.
You know, that reminds me of a Bible scripture that says, out of the heart the mouth speaketh, or out of the abundance of the heart the mouth speaketh.
It sure does speaketh, yes.
Yeah, so we went on a short walk this morning because it was too hot for Janet.
It's too humid.
Yeah.
Bad humidity here.
Oh, okay. Enough said, Doc.
Yeah, move forward.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. So kind of give us the difference, because I know you always recommend like a comprehensive and female hormone lab panel for women.
Yeah.
And then you've got the weight loss lab panel for women. Why? What would make you choose one versus the other?
The hormone weight loss one is more thorough. It tells us many different markers and gives me a better understanding of what to do. Now, granted, I do start with comprehensive and hormones, male or female, whatever's appropriate. And that's really good 80-90% of the time. But if you want to get to it and get to it fast, because physiology of your body's not fast anyway, I'd spring for the really more thorough one.
And spring for it, it's still inexpensive compared to what you're going to pay somewhere else, because we have people try that all the time.
Yeah, I have people say, I want to do it from my MD, and it's like, okay, that's fine. I've got no problem doing that, but 9 times out of 10, it's not nearly thorough enough. And I just tell them, you're wasting your time and your money by going on something incomplete. You're cheating yourself. And then I've had other people that would try to get it through their insurance, and they say, well, geez, my copay was more than what you were charging. It's like, yes. And that's why I tell people, listen with a discerning spirit. If you like me, trust me, great. And I have hundreds and hundreds of people that do. Thank you very much. People that have the wisdom to stick with it.
And they're not going to have to guess about what you think. So he's very direct, or some would say blunt, but you are not guessing. So, but a lot of people appreciate that.
I take exception to that, honey.
Well, let's talk about men for a minute.
Okay.
Since we've gone through the women.
Oh, God.
Men have problems also that are hormone related. We see that a whole lot more now.
Yeah.
Right, Dr. Lewis? And
more than it was 20 or 30 years ago, for sure.
What hormone related problems do you see them having?
Every man thinks it's low testosterone, and that's very, very commonly the case. But there's other hormones that can adversely affect that, such as thyroid, such as what's your cortisol doing, how high or low is your DHEA, et cetera, et cetera. So, I try to give you education and choices, and I had this, this guy's a wonderful man, Gordon from South Austin. He said, Doc, you're giving me too much choices. Just tell me what to do.
That was funny, because Dr. Lewis is usually very direct, and that day he was like, well, you can just take this or that.
I did a little of this.
Yeah.
I do it.
And he was like,
he said, what would you do? I said, more is better.
Yeah.
Do this and this. And
Yeah.
he said, thanks. That's what I needed to know.
Yeah.
So thank you, Gordon. You taught me a lesson.
He's been with us for a long time, and they just expect Dr. Lewis to tell them exactly what they need, which is why they do this, and you can't blame them. But, sometimes it just feels like you tell somebody what they need, and then they go pick something different. So, we get tired too, I guess, maybe is a good way to put it.
Well, that, and I tell people, you can't fix the problem with the same mind that was there when the problem was created, so let somebody else take charge.
So, again, you generally will recommend a comprehensive plus male hormone panel.
Unless you have cardiac issues.
And then that's why you would recommend the Men's Health Extensive Profile panel, or is there something else in that?
Yeah, and if you feel like there's some cardiovascular issues, I tell you to take my panel and see a cardiologist also. You can benefit from a nutritional plan to let your body try to take over, and you take it to your MD. My cardiologist loves my labs.
Yeah, they're usually, well, they're generally always more thorough than what they would run, and they don't have a problem with that.
My lab's more thorough than my cardiologist would normally run.
So, in closing, what's the one message you'd like listeners to remember today?
Well, again, and you've heard this before, there's a scripture in the Bible that says wisdom is the principal thing. So, if you've been struggling with fatigue, don't assume it's something you have to live with. It can be, underlying factors can contribute to how you feel. If we know what it is, then we can do something about it and give your body something to work with. And so we'll explore the thyroid panel, hormone panels, active mega multi. Thyroid Essentials is great, D3 with Super K, Mag Ultra. And when it comes to your health, we tell you test, don't guess.
And so when you say all of this is available on greenwisdomhealth.com, correct? We always tell people, please start with the health survey because it really does help narrow it down because a lot of people don't know what they need. And he's got a lot of information that you can't possibly absorb. So, the easiest way is to fill out a health survey. That way, if you don't know where to start, Dr. Lewis can review everything you've written down, and he can determine which panel he thinks is best for you. And then you get an email from me telling you which panel he suggests, and you can decide to do it or not do it.
I try to educate you because, we had talked about magnesium and how important that is. And most of the doctors, when they do a magnesium test, only do the blood serum, and they rarely even do that. But did you know the magnesium RBC is 9 times more sensitive? It's 9 times better than the one they rarely run in the first place.
What is a magnesium RBC?
Well, they spin down the red blood cells, RBC, and see what is getting into the cell itself, which magnesium doesn't mean, or nutrients don't mean anything. If it's in the serum, you got to see what gets into the cell itself. And so, yeah, I know this stuff. I read a lot.
Well, that's why we talk to you, because he's got a lot there packed inside that head. And people don't really know the difference on the lab panels of what they're getting. So that's good.
That's why you're hiring me.
Right. Well, so go ahead and tell us, what else you'd like to, I guess, close with.
Well, what I'd like you to consider is that, you can glorify God being sick, but it's easier if you feel good. And I think you should go out on a limb. That's where the fruit is.
Depends on what kind of fruit you want, right? Is that and go out on a limb? Is that like a strong limb, or
it's like jump into Green Wisdom Health?
I can just see somebody crawling out there for this piece of rotten fruit on a tiny limb, and then having more problems.
See, only Janet would think of rotten fruit. It's like, no, the good stuff. But all of your growth is a result of taking a risk, and taking a risk is finding out on the lab what's going on, and more importantly, what you can do about it. And, you just throw in nutrients that's not in your diet and see what your body can do with it. It can create all kinds of miracles, since we were made in God's image, but we have to fuel it correctly.
Well, and I really think our next podcast will be about thyroid and the ins and outs of that, because that is a really big topic. Almost everybody asks us about it. And sadly, many, many people have a problem with it, and it's not optimal. So I'm going to get Dr. Lewis working on that.
Well, that's easy. I'll talk about thyroid. I'll talk about liver and gut function.
Okay. Well, we're going to let you save that for the next time. But we do appreciate you being here with us on the Green Wisdom Health Show this week. And we'll be here next time. And you guys have a blessed week. Take care.
Once again, our show has come to an end, but your hope in your health is only beginning. If you or a loved one are in need of a different outcome and are waiting for a brighter future, take the first step and go to our website and fill out the health survey. Please don't keep us a secret. If you know someone that could benefit from this podcast, please share this show with your friends and family. You're only one step away from a life worth living.